So today's topic is going to cover auto zooming in maps for when you mark data. Now, the typical use case of auto zooming relies on you having different filters, and when you change or drill down into the filters, having the map automatically set to only show that data when you change the filters. So this use case that we're going to discuss today is going to be a little different. It's going to be, instead of using filters, but when I actually mark data, wanting to drill down specifically into just a subset of information, whether I want to see a separate table, but also want to see the map zoomed in as well. The one thing I'm going to point out is this is not the main point of how that feature is used, so this is a bit of a workaround for that particular use case if you ever come upon it while you're building a Spotfire analysis. So how I'm actually going to make this happen, I'm going to show from scratch here. The first thing I'm going to do is build a brand new map, which is just mapping latitude and longitude points, and I think I had it colored by the operator here. So in order to make this happen, the key we need to remember is going to the properties and going to layers. So we're going to see this marker layer here, which we're going to edit. And so how we're actually going to achieve this is we're going to have an initial layer and a layer that drills down into it. And that drill down layer is what's going to set the visibility features. So we're actually going to go and change the settings. The first thing I recommend is having a completely separate marking from what you're using in the rest of your analyses. If you don't have a second one, just create a new one right here and make sure that that is the one that's highlighted in this table. The second thing is, since this is the base layer, we're going to want to turn off include in auto zoom. So we'll go ahead and close that. And now, since we have this map layer selected, we're going to add a new layer. You're going to click duplicate, select layer, selected layer. The only difference we're going to make in this layer is, one, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to call this the drill down layer. And you also want to limit the data using the markings of this particular layer. Now, the last thing is we want to include this particular one in the auto zoom. Close that out. So now, just to recap, you should have two layers. One's a drill down with the auto zoom included checkbox checked. The other one is the fry ranch, which is not a drill down marker layer, but should have that checkbox off. So when I close that out, you'll notice it doesn't quite do it yet because there's one more feature that you need to hit, and that is the auto zoom button. So the one thing you need to remember when it comes to auto zoom using the marker is that when I highlight it now, it's going to automatically zoom in. But in order to get it to zoom back out without doing this, instead of unclicking, which is what I'm doing here, to cause that, what you want to hit or instruct your end users to do is, when they want to zoom out, to hit the Control A button. So, or the Command A in Mac or whatever client you're using, to essentially select all of the data. And so normally I just leave a note that says to zoom out, click, use Control A, and that normally works as enough of a workaround for any person that's going to be interacting in that map chart. Oops. So to kind of recap what we've done today, we've set up a map so that you can drill down and have the map automatically drill down with you, so that you get a closer look at a certain subset of data.